Hey guys, so I'm Kashina, and today I want to go over some mindset adjustments that could help you this year. It is January, beginning of 2020, the new decade, and I know there are a lot of hashtag New Year, New You things going on. There's a lot of New Year's resolutions and things of that nature, and a lot of people are trying to revamp themselves, remake themselves, and hopefully not become someone else. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I know a lot of people are getting the advice because I got it that the only way for you to become you and take over the world and be as effective and need I say popular as you really want to be is to be selfish. And for anyone who has the kind of heart that I have, immediately hearing the word selfish brings anxiety. It brings up a defense because the first thing you think about is all of those people that are selfish, that suck the life out of you, that you don't want to become. And that's natural because that's what selfish is. And changing it and putting into a nice context of business orientation or business oriented doesn't make it any less selfish. And so I want to attack those things simply because having the thought that if I become more selfish, I can become more successful also leads to the mindset that stops a lot of people from wanting to be successful, which is rich people are selfish, egotistical, and they do whatever they need to do to get a dime and they don't think about anybody else. You see how they line up? Well, that mindset makes perfect sense. And if I want to change my mindset and I want to change my financial literacy, my financial situation, the last thing I want you to tell me is to be selfish, especially if that's a fear of mine. If fear and money equates me turning into this evil, egotistical, selfish, greedy monster that I never want to become. The last thing I want you to tell me is to be selfish. And so, for all of my big hearted, loving, caring, serving people, I want to give you some information that could be a light bulb this year. It could be the very thing that helps you, just like it helped me. And because I'm a person of words as a writer, and as you see, a lover of books, I looked at the word selfish. So, selfish is just what it is. The mindset, the thought process that we get when we think about the word selfish is just what it is: egotistical, greedy, devoted to one's self, regardless of anybody else. So, selfish people, they don't have a group of people that they're not selfish with, they're just selfish. You have selfish parents who are selfish regardless of whether their kids need them or their parents need them, or they're not giving, they're not serving, they're not caring. They do what they do for one purpose only: them. And to actually have a business in this world, you need to serve. You need to have a heart of service. And you can't teach that. That's something that has to change in you. I'm not going to quote scripture, but in order for you to become selfless, you have to be selfless. That's just kind of the way it is. If it's not something that you are, you have to relearn you. You have to revamp who you are. But if you're already somebody who is selfless, kind-hearted, always willing to roll your sleeves up for a friend, dig your hands in and actually get the work done just to make sure that someone else benefits, then being selfish is not something that's going to help you. It's going to turn you into something else. And that's not going to help you this year. That's actually going to put you backwards. Because it's very easy for me to tell you to be selfish if I'm selfish. If it's easy for me, it's easy for me. I can just turn my phone off and focus on somebody else. But if you are not selfish, then trying to revamp yourself to be something that you're not is going to be a battle with you. And the last thing you want is to battle with yourself about who you are, what you want to become, what you want to build and put out into this world, because you're only going to push yourself further back. And we don't want you to not be you. We want you to be you in a space that helps you. So what we want you to do is not to be selfish. And it's not that the people that are telling you to be selfish, they have bad intentions, because they really don't. At least I don't think they do. I don't know everybody that you talk to. But if they're telling you to be selfish with your time, it's probably because they're watching you give yourself continuously to people who don't mind taking. They're probably watching you give your energy, your resource, your time, your kindness, your heart, your service to people who aren't giving anything back. They're just taking. And they're enjoying the fact that you're in service. And they're enjoying the fact that you don't have a problem giving your resources. And you're the first person they call when they need something. And you're always the go-to person. And that's beautiful. But in certain areas, it's toxic. So I don't want you to be selfish. I want you to be self-aware. And what I mean by that is, I don't want you to change who you are. I don't want you to change what you're doing. I want you to change who you're doing it for. I want you to change who you're doing it for. I want you to change the space or the place in your heart of why you're doing it. Because I'll share a little tip about me. When I served so people could see how good of a person I was. I was sharing to get attention and recognition, and I wanted people to see me. And they did. They saw me for the needy person that I was, who wanted to serve and be of service and help and go all out of my way to make sure they were okay. And they took that as a signal that she'll do whatever she needs to do to get my attention. And so they abused it, because I didn't have any confidence in myself to say, I'm serving because I enjoy serving. I'm not serving because I need to serve you. And if you don't appreciate this service can go to someone else. See, that's confidence. It comes from a different place. So now when I serve because that's who I am. And that's going to happen regardless of whether it's for this person or that person or my kids, my mother, my father, my grandmothers. I'm going to serve because that's who I am. Now, if you're not in the bubble of people that I can serve authentically and healthy in a non-toxic way, then you're not one of the people I serve. You're one of the people that I give advice to and I give limited time to. So yeah, you can call me. I'm not going to shoot you down and treat you like you don't matter, but I'm not going to give you an hour. I'll give you 10 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll give you a couple seconds and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but you should be encouraged. I hope your day gets better. And then I'm getting off the phone. I'm not going to offer my services because that's what you want. You want me to offer services so that you could use me as a resource. That's why you called. And for all of those people who are surrounded by parasites, because that's what it is, a relationship that only takes and never gives anything back, I want to give you some advice. Stop them. Sounds hard, right? Sounds really, really gut-wrenching. But here's a reality. And I had this conversation earlier today. There are people in your life who need you. They really, really need you. Those are the people that you think about when you hear the word serve. For me, it's my daughters. I'm a mother of 4 girls. And when I think serve, I think my babies. When they need me, I need to be there. When they're sick, I need to cater to their every need. When they need somebody to have their back, I need to be the one to be there. But I can't do that for them if I'm doing it for someone else who, because they're selfish, don't consider the fact that I need my energy, my time, my resources, my love, my mental stability, my emotional stability for my girls. They're thinking about them. They're thinking about what they can gain. And they're thinking about what they can gain at the expense of my daughters. So for those of you who are having trouble being self-aware with who you are, what you want, and how to adjust your time, I want you to remember that face. That face that will actually be affected if anything happens to you. That face that will be tormented because they are invested in you as much as you're invested in them. Those people that give to you whatever they can while you're giving back. Those are the people that are actually affected by what you do. Your heart, your heart of service. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But if you allow yourself to be used and manipulated and abused, then you run the risk of turning still into someone else, because then you become bitter, you become exhausted, you become weary, and then you start trying to build walls around a heart that you should be showing. And it puts you in a situation of becoming someone you're not. So before you do that, I want to remind you, you don't need to be selfish. You need to be self-aware. You need to care about who you care about enough to make the boundaries with the people that you need to let go of. So this year, you don't need to be a new you. You need to adjust who you allow to see who you are. All right, guys, until next time.